It all begins on a lively night at the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where the atmosphere is playful, witty, and often sharply political. Stephen Colbert, known for his razor-sharp humor and no-holds-barred commentary, invites former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as a guest. The audience buzzes with anticipation, knowing Colbert rarely softens his punches, especially when politics is involved. As Bondi takes her seat, Colbert flashes his trademark grin, hinting that the conversation will be anything but dull. The crowd cheers, sensing that sparks might fly tonight. Colbert starts light, joking about Florida's reputation for strange news stories, and Bondi laughs along, showing she can handle the heat. But quickly, the tone shifts. Colbert, leaning forward, says with a sly smile, "Pam, you've been called the face of Trump's impeachment defense. How does it feel defending someone even many Republicans hesitate to defend?" The audience erupts with nervous laughter, sensing the tension. Bondi's smile tightens slightly, but she keeps her composure, knowing full well she's stepping into Colbert's arena. Colbert presses on, poking at Bondi's record, especially her involvement in controversial cases and her ties to the Trump administration. His comments are biting, framed with humor, but the undercurrent is clear. He's challenging her integrity on national television. "Some say your legal defense is less about facts and more about TV appearances," Colbert jabs, earning loud applause from the audience. Bondi, however, doesn't flinch. She adjusts her posture, smooths her hair, and prepares her counter. With a calm, measured tone, Bondi responds, "Stephen, I respect your platform and your right to joke, but let me remind you, when you stand for the law, you stand for everyone, not just the people you agree with." The room hushes slightly, the audience caught off guard by her unexpected poise. Colbert smirks, ready to fire back, but Bondi isn't done. "I didn't defend a man, I defended the office, the Constitution, and the principle that everyone deserves a defense, even when the public opinion is stacked against them." The audience murmurs, some shifting uncomfortably, realizing this isn't going to be the easy comedic takedown they anticipated. Colbert, momentarily thrown, pivots with another joke, "So broken bar, you're saying you were the hero we didn't know we needed." Laughter ripples, but Bondi holds steady, smiling faintly. "Stephen, I'm saying the law isn't a popularity contest," she replies smoothly. Her words land with surprising force, the humor in the room temporarily overshadowed by the weight of her conviction. Colbert tries another angle, highlighting criticism Bondi has faced from media outlets and watchdog groups. He lists accusations, pausing dramatically to let them sink in. "Aren't you worried history will judge you harshly?" he asks, his tone half serious, half mocking. Bondi tilts her head, takes a breath, and responds carefully, "Stephen, history judges all of us. My job isn't to win a popularity contest or to charm the media, it's to uphold the law, whether people like it or not." The studio grows quieter. Even Colbert seems to weigh her words. What surprises everyone isn't just Bondi's answers but the calm, controlled manner in which she delivers them. She doesn't raise her voice, doesn't match Colbert's sarcasm, and doesn't seem rattled by the pointed questions. Instead, she leans into the seriousness, turning what was meant to be a comedic ambush into a moment of sober reflection. The audience, many of whom came expecting to laugh at her expense, starts listening more closely. Colbert, sensing the shift, softens slightly, saying, "Look, Pam, you've got to admit it's hard for people to watch someone defend policies and figures that so many find morally questionable." Bondi nods, acknowledging the point. "I understand that, Stephen, but the minute we decide only some people get representation, only some get fairness, we break the system, and I wasn't about to be part of breaking the system." Her words echo through the room, the applause now mixed with thoughtful silence. As the conversation deepens, Bondi begins to explain moments from her career, the difficult choices she's faced, and the personal cost of standing in controversial positions. She shares a story of threats she received, the stress her family endured, and the internal debates she had over taking certain public stances. The audience listens intently, many seeing her as more than just a political figure or a media headline for the first time. Colbert, always sharp, raises an eyebrow. "So you're saying you never had doubts, never thought, Maybe I'm on the wrong side here." Bondi smiles softly. "Of course I've had doubts, Stephen. Everyone does. But you don't walk away from your principles when things get tough. You double down on your commitment to fairness, because if you abandon that when it's unpopular, then what were you standing for in the first place?" The room is hushed again, the audience visibly absorbing her words. At this point, the interview feels less like a sparring match and more like a raw, unfiltered exchange of ideas. Colbert, known for keeping things light, seems momentarily disarmed by Bondi's sincerity. "I gotta admit, Pam, I wasn't expecting you to come in with this much a broken bar backbone," he says with a half-smile. Bondi chuckles. "Stephen, I didn't come here to win an argument. I came here to remind people why the law matters." The audience, sensing a rare moment of genuine connection on late-night TV, starts applauding, and not for Colbert's wit, but for Bondi's composure. Even Colbert, master of the fast comeback, pauses, nodding in acknowledgement. "All right, I'll give you these. You've handled the heat tonight," he says, raising an imaginary glass. Bondi nods graciously, thanking him for the platform. Despite the tough questions, behind the scenes, producers and staff watch in fascination. This was supposed to be an easy viral moment, a headline-grabbing roast, but it's turned into something far more complex. Viewers at home are divided as some cheer Colbert's sharp jabs. Others admire Bondi's resilience. On social media, clips from the show start circulating, with hashtags like Pam Bondi clapback and Colbert face off trending rapidly. After the commercial break, Colbert lightens the mood, offering Bondi a playful game segment, but the tension from earlier still lingers in the room. The audience watches closely, having witnessed something rare, a live TV moment where the guest didn't fold under pressure, where humor met grit, and where both sides walked away a little surprised by the other. Bondi participates in the game, laughing genuinely, her earlier intensity momentarily set aside. As the show wraps up, Colbert turns to Bondi one last time. "Pam, any final words for our audience tonight?" She smiles thoughtfully, then says, "Stephen, I just want people to remember this. Disagreement is healthy, debate is healthy, but at the end of the day, we're all responsible for making sure our system works for everyone, not just those we like or agree with." The audience bursts into applause, not out of agreement necessarily, but out of respect. When the cameras cut, Bondi and Colbert shake hands warmly. Off-air, Colbert compliments her for staying composed under fire, and Bondi thanks him for the tough but fair questions. It's a moment of mutual recognition between two very different personalities, one known for humor, the other for hardline legal defense, who've just engaged in one of the most talked-about interviews of the season. As Bondi leaves the studio, reporters swarm, eager to get her reaction. She handles them with the same poise, saying simply, "I came to speak my truth, and I think people listened." Meanwhile, Colbert, back in the dressing room, reflects with his team, acknowledging that sometimes the best moments on TV come when things don't go according to the script. By the next morning, headlines across media outlets dissect the interview. Pam Bondi shocks late-night crowd with calm response. Colbert versus Bondi, who won the debate. Opinion pieces flood in, each offering their take, but the consensus is clear. Whatever side you're on, it was a masterclass in composure under pressure. For Bondi, the interview becomes a defining media moment. Invitations roll in for more appearances, podcasts, and panels. Some see her as a polarizing figure, others admire her poise and clarity. For Colbert, it's a reminder that even the sharpest satirist can be surprised by the people who sit across from him, and that sometimes, the most memorable moments come not from the laughs, but from the unexpected truths. In the end, the story isn't about an insult or a comeback, it's about two people, from two different worlds, engaging in real dialogue. Pam Bondi may have walked into a studio expecting to be a target, but she walked out having left the entire room speechless, and not by shouting, not by arguing, but by standing calmly in her convictions. And that, perhaps, is the real headline from that unforgettable night.